Good day, everyone. You're welcome to the ICAN Guide. My name is Oluwafemi Ososan, and this is the ICAN Guide. So, going straight to the point, the topic for this session is strategic financial management, almighty SFM. So before we go straight to the point, so many people are always afraid about SFM because of SFM has given so many people so many nightmares. So many people have been seeing SFM in their dreams. It has become a part of their reality. When they are working, they are seeing SFM. When they are cooking, they are seeing SFM. When they are eating, they are remembering SFM. But glory be to God, I was able to win prize as the best student in strategic financial management for the May 2022 ICAN Diet. So that's all glory to God for that. So now going straight to strategic financial management. So strategic financial management is just talking about three things. Talking about our decision on dividend, talking about our decision on investment, talking about that's investing decision, dividend decision, and also talking about our decision on financing. That's basically the three things that SFM is talking about. So all what you'll be doing in strategic financial management is going to boil down on dividend, financing, and also investing decision. So I'm not here to teach us SFM because one way or the other we are either attending lectures or reading it on our own. So like I've always said, these opinions are mine. So for strategic financial management, what was my approach to it that I was able to win prize? Okay, so my approach to strategic financial management was that the first thing is I understood that I have no idea about it. So I was always ready to learn new things. There are some things that we might have been taught while in our university days that we'll be doing in class. Some things like bond valuation, business valuation, capital budget that we think we know. But what I did was I relearned almost everything. So what I did was that in class, whenever we are being taught a new topic, let's say mathematics or finance, simple interest, as little as simple interest, I write down the formulas. Then when I get home, I go over the formulas again and again. So I am not saying this is a sure banker for everybody, but this is what worked for me. And I'm sure about 80 to 90% of people too, this will work for them. I am certain, and I am certain and hopeful that it will work for them. So I'm not promising that it's going to work, but I am actually believing that if you can just follow this guide that helped me, it's going to work for you. So for the SFM, any topic that we do, as little as simple interest formula, compound interest formula, cost of capital formula, I will write them down. When I get home, I make sure that I solve the question we did in class. I didn't literally solve past questions. It was that same question that we have done in class that I get back home to go and solve. So that because I believe that we go from known to unknown, not unknown to known. So that was my belief. So I believe that before I can even try to attempt past questions, let me even understand everything we have been taught in class. And it works for me. So whenever I get back home, all the questions that we solved in class, I try as much as possible to solve everything. I told us earlier that I was working in a bank. Yeah. But whenever I get home that night, I know that this is SFM, and I have told myself that the history I had about SFM, I don't want it to happen to me. I don't want to rewrite this paper. I don't want to rewrite it. So I went to SFM with the aim that I wanted to win prize. My classmates, my professional colleagues then, what they always say is that they used to call me overall best ever, because that was what I used to tell them, that this final, I want to be the overall best ever in ICAN. Whatever they have done, I want to be the overall best ever. I'll tell them SFM, I want to score 97. It was looking as though I was joking, but it was what I wanted actually, and to God be the glory, I happened to get it. So the approach to SFM is divided into the theoretical part and then the calculation part. The calculation part is about 75 to 80% of the course outline, and the theoretical part is about 25 or 30%. Now you can't underestimate any of the parts. Business valuation can be a compulsory question. Bond valuation can be a compulsory question. Islamic finance can be a compulsory question. Capital budgeting can be a compulsory question. International finance can be a compulsory question. So approaching SFM should be like you want to know everything you have been taught. Everything in that pack, that's what you want to know. As you are reading the theory, you're also reading the calculation. As you're reading the calculation, you're also reading the theory. And for SFM, don't assume you know. Don't assume you know. Always ask questions. If you have friends that are writing the course together with you that you feel know better than you, always meet them and ask them that how best can I approach this thing. People that ask me that how best can they approach SF, I tell them that if you are not going to attend lectures, then try to get videos on YouTube. There are videos on YouTube that will help you on each of those topics, that will simplify it for you. You don't have luxury of time to be using 1 month on a particular topic, whereas there are someone that can simplify it for you in less than 1 day, in less than 5 hours. So I believe one of the things is to have someone either to teach you or a YouTube video that you are watching. And while doing that, you're also giving it your time. Try to read as many times as possible, because those formulas are actually, they are plenty. Is it formulas for international finance loan, or when you get to free cash flow model, when they'll be telling you about you are trying to use net assets, or you're trying to do this, you're trying to use price earning for that. So there are different formulas for each of those methods of solving it. So one of the best way to approach SFM is by having a simplified way to understand the topics. There are some people that I didn't use any external textbook. What I used was my tutorial notes, my tutorial pack, then past question. It worked for me. But I made sure that I saw a summary of all the theoretical part in SFM, and I made sure I read all that theory part, so that if theory should come out in examination, I'll be able to tackle it. Then if calculation should also come out, I'll be able to write something on it. So as you are reading the calculation part, also read all those theory, the Islamic finance, the dividend policy, all those capital reconstruction. Try to acclimatize with all the theoretical parts, so that when questions should come out from there, it will look as though you have gotten a bonus mark. And understand the fact that you don't actually really know much about it, because that is like a unique course that does not really follow the trend that we have been getting from our foundational skills level. SFM is quite different from performance management. There's only few topics that you can see in performance management that will always also link to strategic financial management. So for SFM, the basic thing is to highlight all the topics. Find a way to approach them, whether through personal study or through lectures. I attended lectures, and it helped me, because I don't have the luxury of time to read for long, and I don't even have that time to actually say I want to read for long because of work. So I attended lectures, and while attending lectures, I also try to get the simplified way of reading the theory, that is summary of all the theory parts in SFM. I wrote out all the theoretical part of SFM. Then I searched for materials around, and I was reading the theoretical part, the summary, because I don't really like ICAN pack because of the way they wrote the pack. It does not really suit my understanding. So I looked for a simplified way of reading those theory. So I got the summary of the ICAN pack for the theory. I read those theory. Then as we solve a question in class, when I get back home, I go back to solve it. If I don't understand a particular concept, I ask question over and over and again. I remember when we did portfolio theory in class, I didn't understand it that day. So in the next class, the lecturer wanted to move to the next topic. I had to call him back to the portfolio theory that he taught us. I told him that, sir, I understood the single, I understood the double, but that multiple part of portfolio theory, I don't really understood it. Then he explained again because of me. And that was when I knew that I was not the only one having that issue in class. So other people were actually disguising and not trying to ask the question. So it won't look as though they don't know it. Me, I was not shy to ask questions. No be you pay my lecture fee. I paid my lecture fee myself, so I should ask question. I asked question up until how to simplify pressing of calculator. There are some people that know how to press calculator better and easier than the way I knew how to press the calculator. So I asked them that, how were you able to type this thing fast and you're able to get the answer fast on your calculator? So they will show me that, okay, when you press this, this is the faster way to get this, rather than following my conventional way of pressing the calculator. So one of the things you need for SFM is time management also in the examination. Of that 3 hours, 15 minutes will not be enough. So what you need to do is approach, like I said earlier, approach the one you know best. When you start from the one you know best, you start gaining confidence. You start gaining confidence in yourself. Before you know it, you will be able to go to the next one you know, When I wrote SFM in May 2022 died, I started with the easiest one I knew, which I think it was the question 3. I was so certain I was going to score 20 in that particular question. So immediately I finished that one, my confidence grew. And I went to the next question, went to the next question. I was sure about 4 questions. So I had, out of the remaining 3 questions, which ones can I solve? I checked number 6 question, I checked number 7 question. Number 6 was calculation. I knew the 3 marks question there. I didn't touch it because I was like, this one is 3 marks question. That was the only one that I was sure of. Number 7 was theory all through. They were asking us about bend in hand theory. I was like, I can still use English language to get 5/15 in this number 7. So what I did was I weighed my option and I checked between that number 6 and number 7. I was like, if I use English language, I can still score like 5 in that number 7. And while that number 6, the highest I can score is 3 that I was very sure of. And I did in number 7 using knowledge of English language, explaining the way I understand those principles they asked, then trying to link it back to what SFM is talking about. And with that, I was able to come out successful in the examination. So what I want us to come out with to pick from this strategic financial management is that it is not a devil that you cannot conquer. Believe that you have passed SFM. Now the next thing is for you to now strategize. How best am I going to approach SFM? Am I attending lectures, or am I using YouTube videos, or am I doing personal study? Once you have done that, solve questions. Solve as many questions as possible. Solve as many questions as possible. There are some questions that when you are done solving them, you think you know them. When you go to another question, they will ask the question in another different way that will actually challenge what you understood before. So strategic financial management is quite unique. Each question has its own dynamics. So the more you solve questions, the more you get used to the way the examiner asks their question. So for SFM, solve as many questions as possible. Ask question. Read the theoretical part. The theoretical part is as important as the calculation part. And I'm very certain, and I promise you that by the time you'll be done with the examination, you'll be successful. Jot out things, ask questions, challenge yourself, solve as many questions as possible. And I congratulate you, because I know that strategic financial management will be a thing of the past for you. Congratulations. And once again, this is the ICAN Guide. My name is Ososan Oluwafemi Kale. Thank you.